Now, for the graphs, we can work from the weekly calculations and the day of the week calculations to build graphs. It's actually easier to to create those graphs and easier to interpret those graphs if we calculate them from overall averages. And so there's a couple different ways we can calculate overall averages. And so if we go to the end of our sales table and our cost table, we can create columns we can create a total of the overall. We can create an overall average. And we can calculate this overall average from a number of different methods. Same thing for the total. So if you're calculating the total, so the most obvious way to calculate the total is to just highlight all of the cells from all the days of the week, not those ones. Come on, there we go, this one. Boy, that is not what I wanted. Let's try again. I want to calculate all 21 days from the 1 week. Now, don't include your averages in this, just the raw data. And then when you close your parentheses, you'll get the overall total. Now, the other way that you can calculate this is, and I'll just do it over on the side, is adding up the totals from each of the weeks. And they should give you the same value if you've done the calculation correctly. Either of these is fine in terms of calculating your overall total. And then you can, again, copy and paste that down the table. Now, to get your overall average, we also have a number of ways that we can do this. So we could calculate an average on those same 21 days of raw data. Close my parentheses. And so I get my overall average that way. Another way that I can calculate it is I can average my weekly averages. Since they all have the same number of days, I can get away with this. And notice that I'm getting exactly the same value. And of course, the other way that I can do this is I can take my total and divide by the total number of days in my data. And they will all give me the same value. So however you choose to calculate that average, there's several different ways that you can do it. But these overall averages will be easiest in terms of making some of the graphs. And then once you have one of them, copy it down the column and you've got all of them. And then same thing for the next table for your cost. Again, if you've lined everything up correctly, you can reconstruct those formulas, or you can just copy and paste. And if you were able to do it earlier, you're able to do it here as well. Now we'll create the graphs in another video, but this is really the best data that you can use to make very easy to understand graphs. Now, one other way that you can also calculate this is if you look at your day of the week averages, you can also calculate overall averages. Now, you can't calculate totals from here, but you can calculate your overall averages from the daily averages. And that is because they're all averaging the same number of days. If they were averaging different numbers of days, this wouldn't work. But you will get the same values here that we got from our other calculations. And same for the costs. So there's like 4 ways to calculate the overall averages.